Hello party people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna run through a workout, glute focused. I am on a time constraint today. We're gonna run through sumo deadlifts. We are going to run through a good morning with a barbell, but I'm gonna walk you through the form of each movement and chit chat with you. I am not gonna run through a warm up with you guys today just for time, but I am having my 1-up pre-workout, the stimulant free. I haven't had my coffee yet because that's what my plans are. We're gonna go get coffee after this, and I'm limiting my stimulants, okay? There was once a time in my life that I had like 600 to 800 milligrams of caffeine in a day, and I didn't know it was bad for you at the time. I limit myself to 1 coffee. Without further ado, I'm gonna try not to chit chat too much today, but let's get into it. I'm listening to it again. Sumo deadlift, I'm gonna show you a couple different angles, give you a couple different tips and pointers, but this is a hard lift to learn initially, but the more you practice, the better it is. For this specific tutorial, you wanna make sure you can get under a barbell with bumper plates. The reason being is because with a sumo deadlift, and really any deadlift with a barbell, the closer you can get your body to the bar, the better. So we're actually going to get our feet right underneath that bar. If you try to pull a deadlift from here, you can see that my back is gonna have to do a lot of heavy lifting there. We just don't want that. So anytime you're deadlifting with a bar, the closer she is, the better. It doesn't have to be touching your shins, but at least halfway over your feet, okay? So you're right underneath there. Then you're gonna wanna make sure that your body is actually situated right in the middle. Every barbell has different little grips to show you where's the halfway point, but this one has 2, so I'm just making sure that I'm evenly apart from these 2. Then with my feet, instead of being straight on, I'm gonna be nice and wide, wider than my hips. So my hips are here, a little bit wider, almost shoulder width apart for those heels. And then you're gonna point your toes externally. So they're gonna rotate out in the same direction that your knees are. So as far as feet placement, that's what we're looking for. Sit like you're sitting in a squat, like you're sitting in a chair. Hands are shoulder width apart. You can have a double over, 1 under, 1 over, but never double under. So we're gonna go down, grab our hands right underneath those shoulder blades. We're gonna pull the shoulders back and down, which will engage your lat muscles because you are using them. Now, before you pull, I want you to look in the mirror and imagine if you had a t-shirt on, would you be able to see that t-shirt in the mirror? And if not, you're gonna need to rotate that chest forward. Coming up to the top, you're going to sit into your heels, push through those quads and squeeze. You don't need to come forward, you're just squeezing up. Everything is coming up, not through like a hip thrust. When you're coming back down, what I want you to do is to push your hips back, keep those shoulders back and engaged. So you're gonna push your hips back to about your knees, then you're gonna go for a little bit of a bend. It's not so much a squat as it is just a bend in the knees to accentuate the hip hinge. Bringing that chest up and forward, sitting into your glutes, sitting into the heels, shoulders back, and lats engaged. We're pulling up to the top. As we push back to around the knees, go for a bend. Pushing back, open up the knees. A mistake that I can see a lot when this happens is when we're pushing the hips back, we also let them sink. We want to keep those hips above the knees, that chest up nice and tall before you push up. And then when you're pushing back down, you don't want to sink. It's less of a squat and more of like a bending, opening of the knees. Okay, ladies, let's put it all together. When you walk up to that bar, we're wider than hips width apart, about shoulder width apart. You're gonna make sure you're right in the middle of that bar. We are going to externally point our toes. We are going to grab onto that bar, shoulders back, lats engaged, keeping that chest facing the front and keeping my hips above my knees. I am going to sit into my heels, drive through, push through the glutes. You are using your quads. Hips go back, open up the knees, little tap, come back to the top. Mamma mia. It's crazy that last week I was doing like 165 on my sumo deadlifts, and today like I don't have it in me. Also a reminder that like every single time you go to the gym, you don't have to be hitting progressive overload. That is the goal over time, but life happens and you didn't eat perfectly, you didn't sleep as well. Like, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I had a crazy week, emotionally charged, intense. And that's where you have to just find like acceptance that you can't be better every single week. It is about showing up though. I wanted to skip today, I'm gonna be honest, but then I was like, I'm vlogging for the girls. The girls need me. And also, I know I'll feel better after. Even if I didn't hit my PR. We're done with those though. If I were you, I would recommend you do 3 sets of 8 if you're starting at a challenging weight. If you add a warm-up set, do a warm-up set of 12 reps with a lighter weight and then immediately move up to a more accurate weight and do 3 sets of 8. And push the weight when you can. If you can add weight between those 3 working sets, absolutely add the weight. Today, I couldn't. Also, I'm talking. I fear that my camera may be dying. Moving into a barbell good morning, I like to add a band to these because it's not about going super, super heavy here because you could put too much tension on your back. But it is about feeling it in all the right places. And I wanna do a little bit more of a sumo setup for this one, coming off of those sumo deadlifts. So what we're going to do is band is right above the knees, and again, right above the knees. This is not above the knees. We are coming underneath that bar. I wanna put that bar not on my neck, but a little bit lower, and pushing my shoulder blades together to create a little bit of a shelf so that it kind of just rests there. I'm not gripping for my life with the bar. It's just comfy there. Feet a little tiniest bit wider than hips width apart. Slightly point those toes. We're not quite actual sumo stance, just like adding a little bit of extra tension in those adductors. Slight bend in the knees. Now when we push our hips back, it's like a hip thrust here. So you're pushing your hips back, your chest is gonna go down biomechanically, then you're gonna push through those glutes and kind of scoop up like you would a hip thrust. Then, nice and slow. Think of it like a standing hip thrust. You're really just hinging those hips back just a little bit and then coming up and squeezing. And I don't even need a lot of weight here to feel it. What I don't want to happen when you're doing a good morning is you're pushing your hips back and doing an RDL. We're not RDLing here. We are not hinging the hips so far backwards that we're getting an extreme range of motion because the bar is on your back. We are loading the top and side area of your glutes here. So slight bend in the knees, and you're coming down to about 45 degrees. This is about as low as you wanna go with a good morning. So if you go down here, you're gonna have to use your back to get up before you do that. So I don't want that. Guys, my camera's dying. I don't know, this battery does not last, but at least we got through a sumo deadlift. I will come back next week with more demos, but love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day.